I think I'm live. We're gonna make this a short intro because I think I'm ready. This is waiting. Because we're good to go. Right. Okay, I'm just going to hit stop recording. Stopping recording, but I got streaming going on. And then here. YouTube. I don't understand this. Why is it messing with me? Oh, it's OBS maybe? Oh, it's OBS. OBS stopping and going. Okay, but where is my chat room? I'm not sure if this is gonna do the right thing, Apple, but I'm trying. I am trying here. Let's see. Okay, so, okay, am I good to go now? Because that was insane. I hit stop recording. Let me know if I pop off again. Like if it just stops working on me. Okay, so I am live now, right? Yes. Good morning, everyone. Or afternoon. It's still morning here on the east side. So yeah, Navratri. I'm not sure this straw's gonna work good. Good enough. At least I won't have ice in my mouth. Trying to talk to you with your ice in your mouth. The Lord is good, Apple. We might have to go through a whole another year. 365 more days. If Jesus doesn't come this time, we're going to just make the most of it, aren't we? Get our ducks in a row and all that. Good morning, midday. It's a lovely day outside. We have to do a lot of work today. So, Navrati. I just wanted to see what these Hindus are up to because I have some videos on Twitter that popped up for their celebration or whatever. And I just kind of wanted to show you what they do with their false gods. Oh, I can't play the music. Okay, so this one's got smoke. And God's not happy. God's not happy about this because they're like, you know, wanting a sweet new year too, also, you know. Looks like they got something red dripping down or something. I can't tell what that is. But they got smoke going up to it, and you know, their gods are like gods of destruction and all this stuff. And they say that their gods created the earth and everything. If it was more than one god, then they would have to share the glory, right? But if you're the creator of the universe and you created it all, then you aren't going to want to like let all these false ones take credit. And I'm not trying to, you know, poo on other people's religions, except that, you know, God said no. So that kind of just is gross. Look at this. They're pouring half of this and half of that. I don't know why. Maybe a little good and a little evil. I don't know. But I think it's all evil. But you know, this is them worshiping other gods, and you know, Elijah did the same. Like, he's like, you sacrifice to your gods, your little g false gods. I'll sacrifice to my God. And Elijah poured water. See, they can't come up with anything new. Elijah poured water over the sacrifice, over the rocks, all over the area, and then called down fire from heaven. And it worked. But they couldn't do it, like, without the water and everything. Now they're pouring their stuff onto their idols, and you know, God is not going to bless that. And he's going to leave them to it. That's what we've been, you know, reading in Jeremiah, is that they worship these false gods and God let them. He's like, go ahead. They don't have real ears to hear. They don't have real eyes to see. They're just a piece of wood or a piece of stone or a, you know, piece of metal or whatever you want to, like, use God's creation to make your little idols. It's just not going to bode well for you. If you get the good God, he will provide for you. He'll be everything for you. And here's the verse for the day. It's right above my head. You can see the little bug hiding. And I don't see everybody up here. Let's Royal saying hi to everybody. But am I missing people? Royal, Kate and Sherelle and Sputsy. I don't see them in the chat room. Am I missing them? Okay, this says, I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God, not these other idols, unto salvation, because Jesus died for you. None of those false gods died for you. To everyone that believeth. That, I mean, that's what you got to do. If you get there, then you're halfway there. Then if you repent and you accept the free gift of salvation by Jesus, he's exclusive. And then it's got a little thing on there that's not from the Bible, but I always read it. From strength to strength, go on. Wrestle and fight and pray. Tread all the powers of darkness down and win the well-fought day. Ooh, that's good. I didn't know what that part said. And I have on my shirt that says, raise a hallelujah in the presence of my enemies. So, you know, the enemies are the demons. We fight not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and rulers of this dark world. And I have something that I have kept this thing for I think I got it when I was 17 years old. And it's kind of in shambles, and I want to remake it. Maybe my daughter will let me use her laptop to do it because it's all the way in every corner. It's even cut off a little bit, but it's got Jesus in the middle, and it's got all of these names of him that are in the Bible. I mean, there's things like that on the internet, but this one, I've kept it for so long. I always wanted to redo it. And it's kind of like made out of little clouds. The living bread's made out of little loaf of bread. I want to get creative. I've always wanted to do that with this. Get real creative with it and do even more to it. And they have the digital artwork now. So you could like actually make a digital artwork. That's what I'm going to try to do. Where you can zoom in and you can make things real tiny. And then when you zoom in on each one, you'll find another message. So it would be like twice this or more. You could even make it more. But just think of the creative things that we could do for God. And then I wanted to tell you guys one other thing. I've been meaning to do this also. I'm trying to get my living room set up and everything for this, you know, I don't want to call it a studio. It's just my living room. But I wanted to read this a little bit every day. Of course, I won't be able to do it on Monday and Thursday because Bible study. But there's about 20 pages because a couple are missing. But it talks about the Antichrist from the perspective of Muslims. And there's a bunch of stuff in here. And I don't even know if I've read the whole thing through. But, I mean, I printed this back in 2007. So, I want to read this every night, say around 8 o'clock. Just one page. Not a lot, but I just want to start doing that. Because I would love to share that with you guys instead of just reading it by myself. Oh, you guys are in the audience? Let's see. You know how to do this? @ Kate's not here. Sherelle's not here. Who else? Sputsy. Sputsy's not here. I don't know who else here, but that's at least it's not coming up for me. But if you guys are there, sorry if I can't see you. All right, this boat right here. Hold on, I have to go back to the top. Okay, there's been a school shooting in Russia. There's 15 dead and 24 wounded. So let's look at this. Hold on. Pants. I did a bad thing. I ate a couple of these little Three Musketeers. I really wanted something chocolate. I couldn't help it. I'm trying to lose weight and I just really messed up yesterday. Alright, so 15 dead, 24 wounded in a school shooting in Russia. A shooter reportedly killed himself after the attack. Police and paramedics work at the scene of a shooting at school number 88 in Izhevsk, Russia today on the 26th. A gunman on Monday morning killed 13 and wounded 21 others in a school in central Russia. There's children at school, they're losing their hope. Jesus is hope. I hope people find Jesus because it's getting bad. We're not going to be able to send our kids to school anymore. The shooting took place in school 600 miles east of Moscow in the Udmurtia region. Identified the gunman as a 34-year-old. Artyom, he should be in a war. He should be leaving for war. A graduate of the same school said he was wearing a black t-shirt bearing Nazi symbols. No details about his motives have been released. committee said 15 people, including 11 children, were killed in the shooting, and 24 other people, including 22 children, were wounded in the attack. The governor of Udmurtia, Alexander Brukalov, said the gunman, who he said was registered as a patient at a psychiatric facility, killed himself after the attack. So he was probably taking these psychotropic drugs, or whatever you call those drugs, for ADD, ADHD. They try to give the children those. Now they're giving them the blockers so they can stop the growth of their wee-wees. And the school educates children between grade 1 and 11. It's been, now I don't know if they do that in Russia. It sounds like they're trying not to do that kind of stuff in Russia. But you better make sure if your children are in school that they're not trying to manipulate your children's minds by making them think they're not the sex that they are, and that they're going to try to, make you give them, or they might just try to do it on the side. I mean, like, pretty soon there'll be no control over what you give to your children. It'll just be what the state wants to give, the government wants to give to your children. Okay, let's move on from that. We've got a transport boat. This boat is not that big, but it was carrying 100 people in it, and it capsized in Bangladesh Koratoya River, killing at least 24 people, leaving dozens more missing. I mean, I wouldn't get on a boat this size with that many people. I'd be like, I'll just swim across, thank you. Like, depending on how far the river is. Hardly anybody can swim. Well, I mean, for people that don't know how to swim, do you at least know how to float? I mean, if you think you're gonna go overboard, take a deep breath. But shoot, it's hard. Once you're under the water, if you got tossed over like that without knowing what direction is which, you could get upside down in the water. Like, you could not know which way's up. I had a instance like that, and Midday saved my life. And I had gym shoes on and jeans, and there was this little duck in the water, and the little canoe thing that we were in, there was this motorboat went by and made a big wave, and we're in a canoe. So it's like, duh. And then we were just like watching the duck. Here comes the wave. We're not thinking much about, or at least I wasn't. And then just whammy-o, capsized us over. And I mean, I probably would have drowned that day. So I just pray that for those people, their families, and they were Hindus. I'm just saying, like Hindus, if you ask Jesus in your heart, I know you believe in a whole bunch of different gods, why not try the one and only God? Because it's not going to bode well for you. And I'm not saying, because accidents happen, but I mean, I let God lead, guide, direct me. So after I get able to wrap my head around the situation, which sometimes is hard to do, you have to commit yourself to the Lord. You have to renew your mind, and you say, Father, you're in control. Grab onto one of his promises. There's over 3,000, you know, and claim that promise, and um, then you can sleep at night, you know? If somebody does you wrong, like charges you more than they said they were going to charge you for things, then you know that God is going to reward you in heaven, or God is going to bless you in another way. And hopefully that person will, repent for being greedy. And if you can just give it to the Lord, he will guide you and keep your mind. He'll give you peace in your mind if you can just let stuff go. Give it to God, and he works it out for our good because we're his children. And even his children do his other children wrong. So he's working that out for that person's good too on the other end, because maybe they don't sleep good at night. They're like, oh man, I charged that person way too much. I mean, but I can't do anything about it now. God, please forgive me. And then maybe they won't do it anymore, and they'll grow and they'll be a better person because of it. Because all of this is for Jesus. All of it. So here's some wealthy billionaires who need to repent and do people right, because they're sucking up all the wealth of the world. These are the billionaires in their bunkers, and they're just gonna, let chaos reign on the earth, and they're going to probably watch on their little devices at a distance and laugh and stuff, and they may not repent and they may go to hell. So, but just look at this Bezos guy smile. He's like, I'm the richest person in the world. So, maybe they do sleep good at night, but one day they're going to be judged. We all will. It's better to just get humble now, realize why you're here, and that's to be part of God's family, to be practicing what we're going to be doing for eternity, which is loving each other and, being royal priesthood, where we help the people that are being born still on earth during the millennial reign, will rule and reign with a rod of iron. We will be these mansion holders. We inherit the earth, the meek, the humble, and not the proud, not the haughty, not the those that are, doing all this for themselves. If you could just humble yourself and do it for God, you would have these mansions forever and ever and ever. And the things that God has created, I brought this up yesterday, for the eternity, he's preparing a place for us. You know how many days it took him to make all of this? The earth, the universe, stars, moon, sun, trees, grass, mountains, valleys, forests with like waterfalls, and everything in this earth, the Grand Canyon. 6 days. People, animals, birds, fish, everything. 6 days. So can you imagine the detail, the glorious, I was talking about this to my daughter yesterday, like on their mansion they got just like walls with windows, but imagine a place where you don't need windows, but the walls are made out of these massive jewels, and the etchings on the jewels, or like that, what I was saying about the digital, where you could go in and and you could see the detail, and the more micro you get, the more detailed it is. Layers and layers of detail that God is preparing for us. Dimensions, not just the earth, but like visiting other places, maybe. I don't know. But maybe this place will be plenty until he makes the new heaven and the new earth. And I mean, you could never even be adventurous enough to investigate really everything in your town right now. But the design and everything, like if I went to get the flooring for the bathroom when we were working on that, and they had these like parquet floors where they were like cool designs and stuff like that, but it was like 4 or 5 times the cost of just the linoleum floor. And but if you're, if you've got the money to have marble and everything else, but in the new millennial reign, you're going to have all the resources of the world, including things they're not even showing you. Like there are things on the scale, the forget what it's called. Maybe somebody knows what I'm talking about. Where you got helium, nitrogen, you got things that are the what's it called? The scale. There's like 60 elements, the elemental scale or whatever, where you got like oxygen, or it's like 3 letters or 2 letters. There's like so many things they haven't even showed us yet, and then CERN is even coming up with more things that we don't know about. So that, and basically these people have everything that they want: cars, toys, but inside they're empty. Inside they're not happy. Inside they're scared someone's going to take it all away from them, which we are. Just after they're probably dead and in hell, we inherit the earth. We are the royalty. Royal apple. We are royal. And boats. I saw boats in heaven when I had a dream. Games and things we've never seen yet. Toys, creative things. So they have their little safe haven. They took everything away from her. Roseanne Barr, they took it all. Ooh, look at that muscle car. So yeah, I'm just saying, the billionaires, the trillionaires, it doesn't matter how much money, you're not taking it with you when you die. Live for Jesus. Okay, moving on. Russia war protester shoots the commander trying to draft citizens. They took him away. He said nobody's gonna go anywhere before he pulled the trigger and killed the commander trying to draft the citizens. Oh, I wish I could see that. I mean, I'm not trying to promote death or anything, but you take my son or my daughter into war, and your stupid war is like ridiculous how fast everyone's gonna die. It's gonna be like the beaches of Norway or whatever. It's gonna be bad because they got drones, and then you just drop a drone right on your son or daughter. Bam! Just like target practice. Like, I think this whole war is like, let's see how we can get with the daughters and sons of Like, their life is not sacred anymore to people. I can't get that woman out of my mind yesterday. I didn't hear her say it, but they said that she said it. Oh, my son's an alcoholic. It'd be better off if he just went into the war. What? I mean, where is the love? Is the love really gone that cold? I'm going to hop back over here and see what else I got here. That was the school shooting. Let me just see if there was any other pictures. Okay, no. Okay. All right, let's move on because I want to try to get through it quickly. Russia claims 8 unknown suicide drones trying to strike Zaporizhzhia. Zaporizhzhia. That's what it says. Nuclear power plant. Okay, so there were some 8 drones trying to strike the nuclear power plant, and they were shot down. Ukraine was not involved. There must be a third country trying to send Europe to the Stone Age, and they're blaming Iran. So Russia's claiming this. If that happens, Europe's already in trouble for this winter. If they lose that power plant, people are going to freeze to death. But they're already charging some countries up to like 800% increase in their power supply. Everybody better get ready for winter. Get ready for winter. Have an extra blanket, an extra pair of socks, hats, wool. Wool is very warm. IRGC launches fresh artillery drone strikes against positions of anti-Iran terrorists in northern Iraq. So we got drone strikes going on in northern Iraq. Okay, here's something that if you're in Georgia, you better make sure when your children go to school, they don't come back with a chip. Because who knows what they're doing. It's called the Georgia Child Identification Program. What if your child goes missing? Do you have your child's current information immediately available? Find out how you can protect your children now from the Freemasons of Georgia, a public safety event. We want your children to be peace and safety with a chip in their hand. Really? This is something. You guys, we're at the edge of the mark of the beast. You put that chip in your child's hand, you might be condemning them to hell. I don't know. I'm just saying, don't pick anything. Don't let your child have anything in their hand or their forehead. Okay, this is Ian. This is a model. Goes out for 3 days. So Sunday, Monday night, Tuesday morning, Tuesday evening, Wednesday morning. So by Wednesday, Ian is going to really hurt probably Tampa and up through there. Some people are saying Alabama. I don't know. It's really, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, from the ones I've seen, I mean, yeah, it's nasty and everything. it could be a category 2, 3, something, you know. But as far as getting huge, it's kind of wobbling. It's got a pretty good eye on it, though. At first, I thought it was going to be really devastating, like super bad. But I don't know. Time will tell. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Okay, this was in Irkutsk region. This might be the one in Iraq. Let's just look at the map. If it's northern Iraq, then somebody's turning around, I think. No? Yeah? Yeah, they're turning around. Okay, they're leaving. Bye. Right, so I don't know where this is yet. Asia? Where is this, you guys? Oh, it's an oblast, so that's probably Ukraine. No? Ukraine's way over here. Oh. Something Bay. Is that? I don't know where that is. I don't know where Irkutsk region. There might be oblasts in other places too. But either way, let's watch. So people are shooting, you know. You hear that? You better get out of the building. I'm not sure where that's at though. Alright, listen to this Malaysian guy.
Malaysia's former Prime Minister, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, said that the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPPA, is a New World Order strategy by a powerful pact of people led by the US to dominate the world economy. Speaking at the international conference titled New World Order, Recipe for Peace or War, organized by the Perdana Global Peace Foundation, Dr. Mahathir said globalization and borderless trade are being used to establish a one-world government.
Basically, it is about having a world government. We should abolish all states, all nations, all borders, but instead have only one world government. And that world government is to be by certain people, elites, people who are very rich, very intelligent, very powerful in many ways. They are the ones who will govern the world. There was not much talk about democracy or choice of leaders. Instead, there was to be a government by these elites who will impose their rules on everyone in this world. And for those who are unwilling to submit to them, there will be punishment. And the peace that we will get from this is the peace of the graveyard, because the intention also is to reduce the number of people in this world. At the time when the New World Order was enunciated, the population of this world was only 3 billion. The intention was to reduce it to 1 billion. Now the population of the world is 7 billion. There will be a need to kill many billions of people, or to starve them to death, or to prevent them from giving birth, in order to reduce the population of this world.
So it's been a plan. This was in March of 2015. Okay, Italy got a new prime minister, Giorgia Meloni. Let's celebrate with Apple and Italy. Italy, you got a new lady and she's awesome. Let me find her stuff. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate. Here she is. Some more celebration. Did you know that the population of Italy is very low on gay people? Because they don't tolerate that stuff there. Just saying. Okay, I'm going to have to read this because it's not in English, but you're going to understand why I'm doing this. By the time I'm done, you're going to be like, I want her to be my prime minister. Please answer me these questions. This is about what we are doing here today. Why is the family an enemy? Why is the family so frightening? There's a single answer to all these questions. Because it defines us. Because it's our identity. By the way, this means perfect. Family. It's a perfect idea. Why God? That's in sign language. Perfect. So if you see anybody, or also like this is delicious. Delicious. If you think about family, she's saying it defines us. It's our identity. That's why God made a family for you, so you could reproduce, have children, multiply, live, pass on. To be part of a new family of God, so just keep that in mind. Like, this is important. Oh.
Tante altre di queste domande. A monte c'è quella che ci facciamo oggi: perché la famiglia è un nemico? Perché la famiglia fa così paura? C'è una risposta unica per tutte queste domande. Perché ci definisce, perché è la nostra identità. Perché tutto quello che ci
Because everything that defines us is now an enemy.
Definisce in questo tempo è un nemico. Per chi vorrebbe che
For those who would like us to no longer have an identity,
non avessimo più un'identità e che fossimo solamente
and to simply be perfect consumer slaves,
consumatori perfetti. E allora è sotto attacco l'identità.
And so they attack national identity. They attack religious identity.
Nazionale, è sotto attacco l'identità religiosa, è sotto attacco l'identità.
They attack gender identity. They attack family identity.
Di genere, è sotto attacco l'identità familiare. Non devo potermi definire.
I can't define myself as an Italian Christian woman mother. No.
Italiana, cristiana, donna, madre, no. Io devo essere cittadino X.
I must be citizen X, gender X, parent number 1, parent number 2. I must be a number.
X, genere X, genitore 1, genitore 2, devo essere un numero. Perché quando sarò solamente
Because when I am only a number, when I no longer have an identity or
un numero,
roots,
quando non avrò più un'identità, quando non avrò più radici, allora sarò
then I will be the perfect slave at the mercy of financial speculators.
Lo schiavo perfetto in balia della grande speculazione finanziaria.
And I can't say it like her. She's fired up. The perfect consumer.
Consumatore perfetto.
That guy right there kind of looks like George Soros. Yeah. Maybe she's talking to the oligarchies and the... Look at this guy all sitting back. I don't know. Maybe there's some oligarchs in the crowd not liking this. You know there's infiltrators everywhere.
E questa è la ragione per la quale...
That's the reason why.
Questa è la ragione per la quale oggi...
Why we inspire so much fear. That's why this event inspires so much fear.
Noi facciamo tanta paura. Questa è la ragione per la quale oggi questo appuntamento fa tanta paura. Perché noi non vogliamo essere...
Because we don't want to be numbers. We will defend the value of the human being.
Dei numeri. Noi siamo qui per dire che noi non siamo dei numeri. Noi difenderemo il valore della persona umana, di ogni singola.
Every single human being, because each of us has a unique genetic code that is unrepeatable. We're all
Persona umana,
unique.
perché ognuno di noi ha un codice genetico unico e irripetibile. E questo piaccia o no.
And like it or not, that's sacred. We will defend it. We will defend God, country, and family.
Del sacro. Lo difenderemo. Difenderemo Dio, la patria e la famiglia, che fanno tanto schifo.
Those things that disgust people so much, we will do it to defend our freedom.
Lo faremo per difendere la nostra libertà, perché noi non siamo...
Because we will never be slaves and simple consumers at the mercy of financial speculators.
Saremo mai schiavi e semplici consumatori.
Look at this guy, he's not clapping here. Got this guy over here still. He's got his hand on his chin. This guy too, the Soros guy.
In balia della speculazione finanziaria. Ecco la nostra missione,
That
ecco
is
perché
our
oggi sono venuta
mission.
qui.
Oops. That is why I came here today. That's why God put us here.
Qui scriveva
Chesterton wrote more than a
ormai più
century
di un
ago.
secolo fa. Vediamo se ve lo trovo. Fuochi verranno a...
Fires will be kindled to testify that 2 and 2 make 4.
Tizzati per dimostrare che 2 più 2 fa 4. Spade verranno...
Swords will be drawn to prove that leaves are green in summer.
Sguainate per dimostrare che le foglie sono verdi in estate. Quel tempo è arrivato.
That time has arrived. We're ready.
Signori, siamo pronti. Grazie.
Grazie. Let's see, that guy clapped 3 times. Soros over here with his mucky little chin. No, he's not going to clap to that. But the rest of Italy is. Woohoo! Yeah, Italy. So, she's now the Prime Minister. Just looking here to see if I had any more for her, because she's special. Very special. You guys have it. Okay, that's the end of my thing. So I'm about almost halfway through. I'll try to go a little faster. Okay, let me go back up here a bit because I missed a couple things because I passed up her. Yes, where is she? Right here. Okay. So, this woman here, there's these people back here in the audience, back here, they're stealing from this gas station. This is in Philadelphia. Wawa! Okay, woman, as Philadelphia Wawa is being ransacked around her, are y'all going to make the sandwiches? Or are you just going to keep on recording? Yeah, I don't think they're in the mood to make sandwiches while you guys terrorize their store.
Are y'all making a deal or is that y'all gonna keep recording? It's gonna be a little. Are y'all making a deal or is that y'all gonna keep recording? It's gonna be a little.
He says, it's gonna be a while. Can you believe that? She's just like used to it. She's like, I mean, there's chaos going on in your store, but you gonna make me a sandwich? Wow. Okay, I'm starting to think that these, I've seen a video like this to begin with of the Elon Musk Skynet thing or whatever it's called, the satellite Starlink. I really thought that can't be that close to the ground. They can't be like putting that crap up in our skies where we can see it that close and it be functional going through the sky. That's got to be some kind of kite or something somebody's messing around. That can't be, you know, Starlink, but I think it is. I think it's that close to the ground. Look. Sure looks like the same thing I saw before. I think that is Starlink. It's just right there.
What is that?
It's not a fireball. It's going too slow. Those things are going to be all painted all over our skies, you guys. I hope the heavens shake and they all come down. They're saying planes, lasers. No, I think it's Starlink. Okay, this right here. Now, yesterday I showed some things happening in London where there were these huge trucks, gigantic trucks. And I had to watch this like several times in order to figure out that this is a freaking bomb. And I don't know where this is at, but look at this thing. I'll try to point it out to you what I noticed. So that goes down to a point right here and right here. Here and right here. And it's like that big. You see that? It's a big bomb. Gigantic bomb. Look at this thing. See the point right here? It goes down to a point right there. So that's the bottom of it. How huge that thing is? Is that a nuclear bomb? Is that like a big boy? Or a big man? Or a little boy? This is from Russia's language. Okay, they're scared about something. Let's see what this is. They're making all these kids go to war, I know that. Dude, it's upside down. Turn the camera around. Okay, I'm not going to watch your upside down show. This one? Same thing. Okay. Just trying to find that bomb. This was the same thing as this. See? It's in red. Oh boy. What? What'd I do? No, I don't know what she said. She's in another language, so. But it sounded like, what did I do? I would love to see that bomb. And then yesterday there was like all these trucks going by. Look how they're just like shoving people into vehicles. There's like a bunch of people arrested. A bunch of people died yesterday. Just because they don't want them, I'll say rioting, but still, they're just protesting. He's like tearing up his passport. He's like, there's people rushing the borders to get out of Russia. This one. There's no sound. I mean, what is going on? People are being made to fight. People are being made to go to war. Families are being torn apart. All the way up to age 60. I don't see that bomb. Okay, I can't spend too much more time looking. But London had trucks of stuff, and I'm going to show you something else. Okay, here's one where they're leaving. They're trying to get into Kazakhstan and Georgia from Russia to try to get away from having to go to war. Look at all this traffic. Just on and on and on. So many all the way around up the coast. They're trying to get out. Like, you know, in America, if you get drafted, like a lot of people went to Canada or Mexico. That's what they're doing. Get me out of here. I don't want to be shot with a drone. Can't even face your enemy in these wars. I mean, it's one thing to stand up and, you know, defend yourself or, you know, put up a fight or whatever, but it's another thing for just a big drone to drop something from the sky and wipe you out. And you sign up for that? The Lord said he won't have it for Italy. That they want to arise an old Roman Empire. He won't have that in one of Amanda Grace's messages. Okay, listen to what this lady says. She's at the World Government Summit. I wanted to look that up too. World Government Summit 2022. When is this happening? Or when did this happen? This happened in March. They had a World Government Summit. Are we ready for a new world order? This lady here, I'm not sure who that lady is. Maybe you guys recognize her. It's not Liz Cheney or anything, is it? All right.
And it's not about the U.S. versus China. It's about what underpins a world order is always the financial system. I was very privileged. My father was an advisor to Nixon when they came off the gold standard in '71, and so I was brought up with a kind of inside view of how very important the financial structure is to absolutely everything else. And what we're seeing in the world today, I think, is we are on the brink of a dramatic change where we are about to, and I'll say this boldly, we're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting.
We're about to abandon the traditional system of money. Her name is Dr. Pippa Malmgren.
And introduce a new one.
She's an advisor to the president for Economic Forum.
And the new one, the new accounting, is what we call blockchain. It means
Digital.
Digital. It means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that
Every single transaction.
happens in the economy, which will give us far greater clarity over what's going on. It also raises huge dangers in terms of the balance of power between states and citizens. In my opinion, we're going to need a digital constitution of human rights if we're going to have
a digital constitution of human rights. Like, we're going to have control over every single person, down to the little toddler that wants to have a penny march and give pennies to the church. No more pennies. No more penny marches. No more lemonade stands. No more giving to the poor. No more trading in your cars. Because you won't get much out of them. They want to get rid of cars.
Digital money, but also this new money will be sovereign in nature. Most people think that digital money is crypto and private, but what I see are superpowers introducing digital currency. The Chinese were the first. The US is on the brink, I think, of moving in the same direction. The Europeans have committed to that as well.
The whole world's committed to it. It's almost here, and they have to crash the economy. Get some XRP. Okay. I don't trust it. I don't trust the digital currency. After I saw that that thing that I sent of the billions of dollars just last year that was fraud of digital money that they stole, I'm like, but you know, we're getting pushed into this either way. So if I did pick one, and I would trust probably the XRP to but I can't make myself do it, because man, if Jesus would just come, we wouldn't have to worry about this. But we're gonna see the money crash. We're gonna probably see the whole thing crash. It's got to be next year though that we leave. That's what I think. Okay, the war is not yet started, and welcome in the beginning. The war is not yet started, and Iran already lost 1/3 of the country after ethnic Kurds liberated the Kurdistan province of Iran. Ethnic Balochistan province declared all-out war. Baluchis are well-trained. Many of them were former Pakistani special forces. ما سد و سد داریم برو ناموس کر ناموس بلوچه مار بر دیکتاتور That guy kind of sounds like the little munchkins in the chocolate factory. You want to hear him again? I don't know if you guys can hear that. ملت با مزدوران خامنه ای ما صد و سد داریم برو ناموس Okay, so yeah, we went over this earlier. There was a gunman that killed 13 people and 7 children, wounding more in a Russian school. He was 36 years old, and then he committed suicide. Okay, with all this going on in Iran, this guy basically is just saying we need to help the protesters who are chanting death to their dictator. So I don't agree with the kind of help that you guys are probably talking about. We need to support them and help them. And like yesterday, there was like talk about giving them guns. the United States giving Iranians guns, that would be a very bad idea. So I hope that's not the kind of support that he's talking about. I'm just saying. Alright, before I surrendered, I made this video. Okay, this is in English. And he got this out because of the Starlink satellite. So he's like thanking Elon Musk that he was able to get his last communications out. Which, I mean, if you've got a rich person going against what these globalists want, then they've got lasers up higher that could just take down these Starlinks. So, I mean, I think they want this information to get out, or it wouldn't be getting out. But anyway, we'll listen. We'll give the guy a little listen.
Watching this, it means that we've surrendered. We've lasted about a month, 2 weeks in the city of Mariupol. We finally exhausted all our resources, ran out of ammunition.
Send
food.
us more money.
The only thing we had left was water. But apart from that, we were just under constant heavy shelling, heavy artillery, heavy airstrikes. Yesterday was the heaviest. They hit us with everything they had. So, due to heavy casualties and the situation, we didn't really have any other choice other than to surrender. Hopefully this fucking war finishes so fucking peace can come again. But
no, it's not gonna end.
You guys will see what will happen. Hopefully
it's just gonna
the Ukrainian Marines will be treated accordingly. Our commander negotiated with the Russian commander, and we're just waiting for the command now to lay down our arms and head towards the Russian soldiers. Hopefully you'll see something from me in the future.
Prayers, dude. You guys are in the Hunger Games. You know, and this is UK inside of Ukraine. The European Union has already gone in. I mean, that's what he's saying. But did anybody else get notified that NATO's now involved? I mean, are we really on the brink of World War III? Or are we about to get nuked? I don't think we're going to know if we're getting nuked. By the time we know, it'll be like, they'll give us like 1 hour maybe. And then if you don't find out within that hour that you're getting nuked, you're just going to be like, bam. You're going to be, but it does. I had a dream about it and I wasn't hurt. Like I was just like straight into heaven. Seeing all the family of God. I was like, oh, that's you. Oh, like I've talked to you, before. Or maybe it's just because I knew everybody like the Bible says we will. Man, I can't wait. I hope he comes today. Well, he could come today, and he could come tomorrow. But I do think he's going to come on a Rosh Hashanah. But I think it's going to be next year, unfortunately. But I'd be so happy if it was this year. Just make sure you're ready. If you don't know how to get saved, you can go to Romans and read Romans. Basically, you just ask Jesus to be your Lord and Savior. That you believe that he's the Son of God, that he died, he rose again, he's coming back, and then you just accept him as your personal Lord and Savior. That's it. He paid for it already. It's a free gift. And if you need somebody to walk you through it like that, just basically you just say it from your heart. But Pastor Paul Begley Prophecy, he does a call to salvation every single day, sometimes twice a day. So you can go over to his channel on YouTube and ask the Lord into your heart and celebrate with all of us. Like, that's my favorite part, is at the end when he does that. And I throw up the balloons and welcome to the family of God. The angels are celebrating even when there's just one that accepts Jesus as their savior in heaven. Like, they got probably banners and cartwheels and dancing, and they're celebrating when just one person gets saved. Okay, a Palestinian farmer started digging in his field and found out why some of the trees weren't properly taking root, only to find out that a Byzantine era mosaic believed to be 13 to 1500 years old was on his property. So let's watch just for a minute. Look at that. Animals. See a rabbit? So
بحثت في
beautiful.
النت، كان يعني استعانت بابن أخوي على
He searched the internet with his nephew.
أساس إنه إله في أمور النت، فعرفنا إنه هذه اللي هي مسيفسة وتابعة اللي هو العهد.
I see a dolphin or something. I'm not sure what all.
البيزنطي بحافظ عليها، يعني بعتبرها كنز
It's
كنز
a treasure, a Palestinian legacy.
وأغلى من الكنز لأنه إرث
It's in
فلسطيني.
Gaza. Gaza's right near the beach. It's beautiful. See what I'm talking about? The creativity with the stones and everything. It used to be so much more creative. So we're going to get to do that. Okay. This was the scene in Russia. The shooter was a Russian mobilized soldier. He didn't want to be deployed to Ukraine, so he killed a bunch of people. And he killed himself.
Скорая приехала, пустите!
Now that...
Приехала скорая помощь. Дальше будут спасать пострадавших.
Can you translate that one, Apple? Okay, get your kids away from public schools. This one's big. Bad. If I was that teacher, she's big enough. She could just sit on them. They probably start beating her. I don't know what to say. There's so many like that. This guy Chu found this, and I hope it's true, this Marcus Lemonis from the Camping World. I mean, I wanted to verify it before I go and say, yeah, do what he says. It says, to Donald Trump supporters, to President Donald Trump supporters, frankly, don't shop at my business. CEO of Marcus Lemonis. Camping World. So I thought I'd give them a little shout out and say if I ever come across Camping World, I will not stay at your Camping World, even though I'm not really like, I don't have a lot of confidence in Donald Trump, but I'll definitely not shop at your business since you don't want people on the right to be, you're going to lose a lot of business, sir. A lot. But let's double check. Marcus Lemonis. Marcus Lemonis. Because I'd like to see it come from his mouth or something. Marcus Lemonis. I don't know if I spelled his name right. HGTV. Seeing Camping World commercials. Just a reminder that Camping World hates Trump and everyone who supports him. I guess he did. Don't see the video here. Says there's a video.
This notion that the economy is being driven solely by Trump is somewhat laughable to me. There's good fundamentals that are happening with these companies. And I think the challenge that we have right now, particularly as CEOs, is our job is to be stewards of our business. And we are entitled to a personal opinion, and we are entitled to voice that. But we need to be careful, and I encourage a lot of these CEOs to be careful in really voicing an opinion that represents their business or their shareholders. Now, I, of course, along with the other CEOs, are horrified by what we're hearing and seeing from this administration. But as the CEO of Camping World, it's important to recognize, or the CEO of any company, that we speak for ourselves as individuals on public policy. We speak for our companies as it relates to policy that affects our business. Obviously, this one does, but we just need to be very careful. And I'm concerned about certain CEOs dancing on the fence, fearing retaliation or fearing something. And it's scary right now.
Marcus, you have a consumer-facing business, Camper World. So do you worry about, if you were on one of these councils, would you worry, thinking, wow, I've got to deal with consumers every day. Are they going to look at the business poorly because I'm associated with the White House?
There's no doubt that there is probably not many consumers in this country today that are in favor of what has been said in the last couple of days. And if they are, quite frankly, don't shop at my business. And I think that the reality of it is that there is a fear. There is a fear in the last couple of days. And if they are, quite frankly, don't shop at my house. There's no doubt that there is probably not many consumers in this country today that are in favor of what has been said in the last couple of days. And if they are, quite frankly, don't shop at my business.
I don't really know what was said in the past couple of days. I don't know what to say about this. But you guys make up your own mind. He was not a member of the White House Advisory Council. I'm not sure what to think about this. Because you know how people twist words and things like that. Any smart business person is not going to say, don't shop at my business unless they're a retard. I don't know. But, you know, if you end up having to stay at a Camping World or whatever Camping World is, I'd question the people and ask them. Maybe they'll explain it. Okay, my question about these space launches that are by Elon Musk that are making this huge inorganic thing in the sky, we'll say. What are these chemicals that are causing this thing to happen, because I'm concerned that this is some sort of radiation or gamma rays or something dangerous. You know how the northern lights is like dangerous? I mean, is this thing dangerous to breathe the air of whatever caused that? I mean, it's very pretty and all, but so are the northern lights. I call that a fearful sight. Okay, this lady does not mention the you know what. She's basically talking about myocarditis. So we're not going to link that with anything other than just like basically what she's saying for these 15 seconds. I think I'm allowed to do that. Myocarditis is a serious thing, and this is coming from a doctor, what myocarditis is about.
Because myocarditis, even under the best of circumstances, if you've been treated with steroids and anti-inflammatories and you're released to go home, the 50% of people die within 5 years.
Did you hear that? If you have myocarditis within 5 years, if you're being treated with steroids and other anti-inflammatory type drugs, you've only got 5 years.
Under the best of cardiac care. Because
with the best of myocardiac care, heart care.
Myocarditis, even under the best of circumstances, if you've been treated with steroids and anti-inflammatories and you're released to go home, the 50% of people die within 5 years under the best of cardiac care.
And like there was this commercial the other day with this little girl, and she's like, oh, I gotta go get my heart pacemaker or something. I don't know, some sort of treatment. I have myocarditis. And they just make it out to be like no big deal. But I mean, what this doctor is saying is that myocarditis, even with the best heart care that you can get, you've only got 5 years. So when you see these little kids, you know, in these commercials or whatever, like you see little kids that have myocarditis, they're not going to be around in 5 years. I am heartbroken over this. And I sure want to say things right now that are just eating me alive, you know, like, ugh, you're killing people. Stop killing people. And I'm not even going to say what it is that's killing people, but stop killing people. 5 Chinese fighters, planes, and 4 warships approaching Taiwan's coastline. Okay, I looked into this a bit, and it sounds like Taiwan is good for like weaponry and like lots and lots of internet cables that protect, you know, like if there's Chinese warships and stuff, they're not going to get away with starting a war with Taiwan. Like they're prepared for that. So I would just hold off on worrying about another war. All that stuff is probably rumors of war. However, militaries could be a lot less wonderful than what we think they are. Very vulnerable, even though they're doing all these military exercises and everything like that. Okay, Oath Keepers have been around for a very long time. Did you guys know this? And this guy, Stuart Rhodes, he went to Yale Law School. Did you know that? He was part of the January 6th thing, and they're in, I don't know, deliberations right now, or just court trial or something. I mean, I don't know if they're, let me just see if they're court Oath Keepers. I just want to see if they're live. We want now, so we're going to change the filter to this week. So, you know, because they're still holding people, you know? They shouldn't be doing that. And there's like an interview thing I want to show you just a few minutes of. He was part of the Texas ranchers, where they were taking the guy's land. They were like, this water is running through your property. We're just going to take your land. And they were like, oh, no, you're not. And they got the horses out, and they all had guns, and I forget the name of that. But this is supposed to be going on right now. 3 days ago, jury questionnaire revealed for Oath Keepers trial. So it's trial Oath Keepers. You know, Alex Jones is you know, been live. Are they not gonna tell us? I mean, that one's 3 minutes. Hoping to get out of jail while awaiting trial. That was 8 months ago. I don't know if he did or not. Hey, Midday, are you there? Would you like to make sure that Rocky is behaving because he's barking at the neighbors?
I'm trying to find the perfect gift.
I really need something to just wow her.
So I went to 1-800-Flowers.com.
Well, 5 days from now, 2 Central Florida men will stand trial in our nation's capital.
They are part of a group of Oath Keepers facing the most serious charges to come out of the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. News 6 investigator Eric Sandoval has been tracking all 36 of our local cases. He is here now with more on how the attorneys are getting ready for this. Eric?
Yeah, first they need to find a jury for this case. And actually that process has already started for these 2 men right here, Kelly Meggs and Kenneth Harrelson, and 3 other members of the Oath Keepers who are all going to trial next week. Now, we got a hold of the jury questionnaire that potential jurors are filling out right now. According to this, it could take 4 weeks, maybe even longer, to lay out all this evidence. More than a year and a half after hundreds of people stormed the U.S. Capitol trying to stop the certification of the presidential election, attorneys for 5 members of the Oath Keepers are now screening potential jurors to hear their case. That includes 2 from right here in Central Florida, Kelly Meggs of Dunellen and Kenneth Harrelson of Titusville. Those potential jurors are filling out this jury questionnaire. It begins with the basics, asking about a person's background and about their employment and education. But then it gets right to the meat of the case, asking if you or a close friend or family member has attended a rally or protest in the last 5 years. It asks if you or someone you know is at the Capitol on January 6th, if you had a concern for your safety that day. Have you watched or read news coverage of the events of January 6th? And despite objections by the Oath Keepers' attorneys, the questionnaire also asked potential jurors to list their top 3 sources for news, asking for the specific newspaper, TV channel, or website. Potential jurors are also asked if they know any of the defendants, including Meggs and Harrelson, and whether their opinion about what happened on January 6th is so strong that it would affect a person from being fair or impartial. An important question, as each defendant faces a maximum of 20 years in prison if they're convicted. All right, so what happens now is attorneys are going to take these questionnaires. They're going to start 2 stacks, those they want on the jury and those they don't want on the jury. The next Tuesday, we're going to be watching as they start questioning these potential jurors in person to whittle it down to a jury of 12. And that's hopefully expected to last a week, maybe even longer.
Yeah, so Eric, all 5 of these people are going to be tried at the same time.
At the very same time, same courtroom. All 5 are going to be tried, 8 attorneys representing them. It's going to be really interesting to see how all of this plays out in court, especially if it's going to be organized, who gets to speak when, opening statements for 5 people. It's going to take a while.
Sounds chaotic, actually.
They're excited about it, though, aren't they? Did anybody catch when they were going to do that? Because let me just like minimize X. I had to go to the bathroom. All right, so they're going to do it soon. It sounds like. When was that one? That one was from the 22nd. So they might be doing it soon. Joe Embryo's on. Embriano. The Fullerton Informer. Some of the stuff he talks about is like Q or something, though, I think. Derek Gilbert's premiering right now, too. I like listening to him. Just giving a couple shout outs here. United Nations is live. Oh, did you guys hear about that meteor? Hold on one second. Or satellite is like falling, or I don't know. There's something where something was gonna hit something, I don't know, in space. I don't remember. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Live. Just it. Okay, here. NASA DART. Right here. Countdown to impact with asteroid. Am I not subscribed?
I'm on the Slim Fast plan.
Put down that Slim Fast of the 80s. This is today's Slim Fast. Vanilla Almond Crunch Intermittent Fasting Bar. It has all the nutrients to help you break your fast.
Okay, shh. 5 hours and almost 6 hours. 5 hours, 54 minutes. There's going to be a impact with the asteroid Didymos. Just so you know. So, some satellite's going to get hit by an asteroid, I think. Alright. Now, Biden officials are sour on the World Bank head. David Malpass is a holdover from the Trump administration who some officials see as weak on climate. They want to keep up with this climate change agenda to make us broke. All right, how is you giving taxes money to them for fixing hurricanes, floods, everything else gonna help the floods? I mean, like, that's a lost cause. All right, now there's a new pandemic they're expecting because of another bat. So we've got the second double bat. There's the mama bat and the baby bat on the coin. You guys seen that? So this might be the baby bat or the mama bat. This is the second bat problem. Costa. It's going to cost you. All right. Going to cost you the rest of your money, the rest of your savings. In the next pandemic, this is from Pullman, Washington. The next pandemic on the horizon, scientists are warning of a new COVID-like virus called Costa number 2. It's going to cost you twice as much as it did before. Originating from a Russian bat. Blaming it on a Russian bat. It's believed to be capable of infecting humans and would be resistant to current vaccines. So we're going to get you a new vaccine. Costa 2 was found 2 years ago in horseshoe bats. Its discovery adds to evidence that sarbecoviruses, part of the coronavirus family, are rife across Asia and Eastern Europe. Did I tell you guys that I saw a dead bat sitting right by my front door when the whole thing started? And it looked like that. It looked just like that. Its creepy little feet and everything. Its little legs were like, they were like suction cups. I got it with a grocery bag. And I just kind of threw it away. There was a frog on my porch one time too. Also, okay, our research further demonstrates that sarbecoviruses circulating in wildlife outside of Asia, even in places like Western Russia, where the Koshtia-2 virus was found, also pose a threat to global health. And on global health, around the world, we're going to have to give a new vaccine. And ongoing vaccine campaigns against SARS-CoV-2, says study leader Dr. Michael Letko of Washington State University in a statement. Past studies I'm not going to talk about because of blah, blah, blah. Scientists believe another pandemic will happen during our lifetime. Coronaviruses can move between different mammals such as cats and dogs and minks. By moving between species, the virus can mutate and evolve into a new pathogen, which could explain how the you-know-what emerged. And I'm just going to leave this alone, but just remember it's going to cost you. Costa 2 versus it's going to cost you. Okay? This was about the one that happened in Iraq. Was it this one? I'm trying to remember. There was one of them I wanted to play a little clip of. Is that it? So, okay, see this guy here, Khomeini? His son might be gonna take over. This guy might die. And this guy take over. This Cloak with brutal second son Mojtaba. Mojtaba. And they're talking about the things on their head too. Like he's a cleric or something that makes him a cleric because of his turban. Oh boy. Here we go with the plucking. Go away. They're like little pterodactyls. Okay, so, and this is in Iran. Iran Revolutionary Guard claimed Monday to carry out new artillery drone strikes against positions of terrorist groups in the semi-autonomous region of Iraq Kurdistan, with no casualties reported so far. So Iran is messing with Iraq with the drones. This guy might die, the Khomeini guy. I didn't remember doing that. Oh, it's a promotion. Camping. Okay, that's not where I was. Wait. Here's where I am. Okay, so we talked about the Oath Keeper guy. We talked about Florida. They're going to get hit by Wednesday. It's moving pretty fast. Okay, London. And then that one. And I think that's it. Nope, there's the train. Oh, yeah, you got to see the train. The train wreck. And then this one. This is the last one right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not even going to play Pelosi getting booed. So 5, 6, 7. 7, 8. 8 more things. Okay, this is Lancaster. We now have to deal with pro and anti-Iranian regime demonstrators battling each other in London. This is all ending badly. So they're fighting and stuff.
Here we go.
You got a ton of Muslims now in Europe. So, you know, the pro-Iranian thing, it's not going to go good either way because you got all kinds of different sects of Muslims there. I think that's why they had to call out the National Guard or whatever this is. This is in London.
Just goes down so fast. Go on, Deep. No offense.
Isn't that crazy? Can you imagine that? Like seeing all these military people on the streets in London? Alright, China and Russia are telling their citizens to avoid traveling this November and December. Now, this was done last year during COVID. Because I was like trying to find another story about this. But all I could find is where they had said that last year. Don't travel in November or December. Avoid spending money on useless things and stay in your country. That's the Chinese and Russia media saying that. So it's not going to go back to normal every year. They're going to do the same thing until they got all our money with the climate chaos, with taking it down to digital currency, to steal your money from in that direction from scams and whatever, or like, you know, bringing it all down to a main amount. So we're way up here, but Africa is way down here, so we got to meet somewhere in the middle, and so ours has to come down. That's what I think. And these people just keep getting more and more rich. WEF says billions who complied with the lockdown restrictions, they'll also comply when the social credit score scheme comes out. He's just like telling you what's up. Like, we've got this. You all are just sheep following orders. You're going to comply. We got these concerts for you to go to called Global Citizen Festival to make it all look pretty and like you're part of something, and family. Even though we don't want you to say family, we're going to make it like family because we're calling each other global. Well, guess what? Jesus called it global first. You know what I mean? Because Jesus came into the whole world to die for the sins of the whole world. And one day he's going to come back as King of Kings and Lord of Lords of the whole earth. King Jesus. And he's going to give his inheritance to his family. My brothers and sisters in Christ are royal. They're royalty. All right, I got a couple more here. This is a train accident, if you want to call it that.
Is that heart?
No, that's Tom check. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Move your car! Stay back!
What an idiot. He left. Idiot.
346, patrol car was just hit by a train. Dispatch up to 346, status medical emergent. The suspect was in the vehicle that was hit by the train.
Is that heart?
The cop left his patrol car on the train track. A Colorado officer, this says 2016 though, parks vehicle on the train track during traffic stop, places the woman in the police car, and then a train smashes into the car. The woman was left with 9 broken ribs, a fractured sternum, and a broken arm, head, back, and leg injuries. So even though this was 2016, oh no, 9/16 of 2022. Okay. So that was 10 days ago. Lord be with her. If she's still alive, help her through all those broken bones. And man, we got idiots in charge. Here's some more idiots. I'm just saying that. I don't even know if that guy's an idiot or not. Let's see what the title says. I don't even know what this is about. Why I retweeted it or... In Dagestan, women declared jihad to garbage. Declared jihad to garbage. Okay, whatever that means. I wanted to tell you guys about my dream real quick. I dreamt... Okay, there was something about Kim Kardashian on here that was like last night or something. Okay, I've only got 2 things left. Let's see if I can find it. I didn't retweet it. Kim Kardashian. I should have retweeted it. I didn't think I was going to. I had to tell you about the dream I had. It's so stupid. Okay, here it is. Let me go ahead and tweet it. Alright, so I must have seen this. It was like tweeted 14 hours ago. So I was asleep. I woke up, I looked at some news, and I went back to sleep. I had a dream about Kim Kardashian. I dreamt that people were after her. And you'll see why in a second. And I picked her up. And I was thinking, she looks so small when I saw this. Like, she looks a lot smaller. Like, I wondered if maybe this is a stunt dummy or something. I don't know. Anyway, I picked her up like a little baby, like a toddler. Like, she was like, she could fit in my arms and she looked like she was a baby, like a toddler. Okay? And so I wasn't supposed to do it. It was illegal to try to help her in my dream. And so I picked her up, and I had a little blue and white, like a baby sort of blanket, one of those that were like more cottony, and I was covering up her hair. Like, you know, all the women that are jihadis right now, they're like taking off their scarves, and it covers up their hair. So I was trying to cover up her hair because I was going to have to walk past some people that were looking for her. And I was trying to hide her. So I covered up her hair, pretended like she was a baby, and I was carrying her to where I knew where these 3 women that were family or friends or security or something for her was in this little room on the end of this hotel. Like the bottom floor. And so I picked her up and I'm carrying her, and they're like, that's her, that's her. And they were like, that's illegal. And so I'm like knocking on the door to that hotel room, and they peek their head out and get a look to make sure that it's her by way of, I don't know, I can't remember now. There was some way they did it without opening the door, though. Like, they were looking on the cameras or something. The people were, like, videotaping, and they could just turn on the news or whatever and see that it was actually her. And once they got a good look that it was her, then they opened up the door, and I just kind of, gave her over, and then the guy that was right on top of me was like, that's illegal, and he was like trying to get me like hurt or in trouble or something. I can't remember now what it was, but I was like being persecuted over helping her. Anyway, it's just a dumb dream. It's just because I watched this clip earlier. But I want you to see, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. But the reason I'm showing this is because of Armenia. They're from Armenia. The Kardashians are. And then you've got Kazakhstan and Aberjazani, or whatever the name of that place is, that have been fighting Armenia. And I'm just wondering if this guy that does this, doesn't like the Armenians, or if he's just a kook. I'm not going to hold you off any longer. The suspense is killing you, I'm sure. Here we go.
Jim, please.
Is he trying to kiss her butt? Is he trying to sniff her butt? I don't know. And I can't tell if it's really her. Doesn't she look little? Yeah, it kind of looks like her. Doesn't she look thin, though?
Jim.
She's wearing black.
Jim.
She look little? Like you could just pick her up and put her in your pocket.
Jim.
So I don't know. They said he was sniffing her butt. Anyway. I had two more things. One of them is very serious, and I needed something to laugh about right about now, because everything's so serious. So that was your fun for the day. I have to go paint the chicken coop. All right. And I have to clean out the other thing. Okay, two more things. Breaking news. Supreme National Security Council of Iran warns it would shoot down SpaceX Starlink satellites if they provide internet for Iranians. You're going to shoot it down, in which they could, because it's so freaking close to the Earth. I mean, that's my opinion. I think that's real, that it's that close. China's genocidal war on... Okay, you've heard of the Uyghurs, right? Okay, this is the end of the show. If you would like to stick around for 6 more minutes, and then I will see you all tonight. If you want, at 8 o'clock, I'm going to read a page a day of this. So here we go. This is CBN News.
The Lord Jesus is looking for followers.
About the Uyghurs. You've heard about them like stealing organs and stuff of the Chinese people.
Shots taken from Chinese police files show some of the millions of Uyghurs being held in at least 1,200 Chinese concentration camps.
1,200?
Their crimes? They may have had relatives in other countries, or they may have made the mistake of applying for a passport. They may have had more than 3 children. They might be considered too religious, or they've been declared untrustworthy. This has been happening for years in the western Chinese province of Xinjiang, and the world has done almost nothing to stop it. Tersine, a Uyghur, was imprisoned for visiting her family in nearby Kazakhstan.
Our cell was 4 square meters, and there were more than 20 people. And there was only one bucket to be used as a toilet. At night, they would take out some people, especially some young girls, for interrogation. And we could hear their screaming. Some of the girls would bleed very badly. One woman had bite marks all over her body. And sometimes they would die because of the bleeding.
Tersane was gang raped by prison guards and tortured with electric shocks.
Yeah.
Other inmates face forced sterilization, slave labor, and brainwashing. Prisoners are regularly killed so their organs can be harvested.
Everyone, literally every single prisoner, was subject to an organ examination. And after the examination, some people were put on a bus and taken somewhere else.
Those outside the camps live in an Orwellian world of constant surveillance. Authorities have placed QR codes on the outsides of homes that give them information about anyone living inside. And an app on their phone records everything they do. This photo shows the English translation of an app Chinese police use when they question someone. After the person's ID is entered, everything about them pops up on screen, including how much electricity they use. And then the app asks the officer if the person's reaction was normal or abnormal, and if the person requires further investigation. China is using every tool at its disposal in the war on faith. All faiths. Anything that could compete with allegiance to the communist state. China is also imprisoning huge numbers of Falun Gong members, a Buddhist sect, and house church Christians. Former President Trump's ambassador-at-large for international religious freedom, Sam Brownback.
Christians are arrested, pastors are put in jail, whole congregations are forced to go underground. The Uyghurs, even if you're not in the concentration camp, you got a camera for every other person that's there. You got a police station or kind of way station every 50 yards in the major cities. People are tracked constantly. They've taken genetic sampling of everybody. They've got facial recognition systems.
With a government mandate to break their lineage, break their roots, Beijing is using forced sterilization and forced marriages to bring an end to the Uyghurs as a people and a culture. The prime minister in exile of East Turkestan, what China now calls Xinjiang, is Salih Hudayar.
So the Chinese government essentially, aside from sterilizing our population, it wants to, breed us out, essentially. So they are forcing young Uyghur women to marry Han Chinese men. And if you refuse, then they're going to send you to a concentration camp and send everyone in your family into a concentration camp.
The man behind this repression is Chinese Politburo member Chen Guangguo, who was so successful in crushing resistance in Tibet that he was sent to Xinjiang to put in place a system to destroy Uyghur culture.
He's the architect. He designed and implemented the takedown of the Tibetan Buddhist system, and then got moved to do something similar to the Muslim population. They've taken this very seriously. They fear religion.
Under a program the Chinese government calls Pair Up and Become Family, more than 1 million Chinese party members have been assigned to move into the homes of Uyghurs and other ethnic minorities, spending weeks as uninvited guests monitoring their behavior, sometimes sharing their beds, and trying to convert them to communism. Meanwhile, the victims of Chinese repression feel abandoned by the United States and the world. A recent UN report on China's treatment of the Uyghurs refrained from using the term genocide, even though what China is doing fits the UN's own definition of genocide. Prime Minister Hudayar suspects the UN caved to pressure from China. And after the White House claimed Joe Biden raised the issue of genocide with Chinese leader Xi Jinping recently, the Chinese government insisted that no, he did not. And sanctions by the U.S. and other Western nations have not worked.
You could look at it and say, look, I'm a Christian. It really doesn't apply to me. It does apply to you. Because as soon as they go after one faith group, they're going to go after the next. The target is people of faith. The war is China's war on faith, and it's all faiths.
The American government knows exactly what China is doing to the Uyghurs. The war knows exactly what's happening, and it has done nothing.
Dale Hurd, CBN News.
They've done nothing. I mean, what can you do? Go into China and pull them out of there like the Navy SEALs or something. I don't know. But that's today's news, guys. That's all I got for today. And I'll come back on at 8 and we'll read a page of this. It shouldn't take long. But I want to know what the Muslims say about their about Jesus and their Mahdi, because he's about here. And my opinion is that he will come somewhere from Iran or Iraq or in that border, like all the way down to the UAE. Could be that guy. But I don't think it's Obama. Some people think it's Obama. I haven't ruled Obama out, but I don't think we're going to get to know. And I don't want to know. Like, you know, I don't want to know. I don't want to know the Antichrist. I don't want to see his face. If I've seen his face, I would want to smack it. I love you guys. Thank you for coming. And happy Rosh Hashanah. Still Rosh Hashanah. We could still go home today. Maybe if not tomorrow, then maybe next year. So we'll just take day by day. We'll keep doing the will of God to the best of our ability and love each other, love God, and love others. And I do. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye. I gotta find the button. This is gonna be difficult because I got a bad start earlier and